A ghost on the mountain. My name is Johann Schmidt. You know me by another name. A name I gave myself. A name the world gave me. The Red Skull. It sounds like something from a child's nightmare, does it not? A monster to frighten you into obedience. Perhaps that is all I ever was. But before the monster, there was a boy. A boy named Johann. I am speaking to you now from a place that is not a place. A point in space and time where all I have is memory. I am a ghost. A whisper on a cold wind. I have been here for a lifetime. Many lifetimes. Time does not work the same here. Here, I have nothing to do but remember. And I see everything. I see your world. I see its chaos, its endless, pointless struggles. And I remember why I did what I did. Do you want to know? Do you truly want to understand the monster? Then you must first understand the boy. I was born in a place of ashes and defeat. Germany after the Great War. There was no glory. There was only hunger. My mother died bringing me into the world. My father, he looked at me. This tiny, screaming thing that had killed the woman he loved, and he tried to kill me too. He tried to drown me. He failed. In my first moments of life, I learned the world's most important lesson. You are alone, and you must be strong enough to survive it. My father ran, and I was sent to an orphanage. The orphanage was a factory for broken children. It taught you to be quiet, to be invisible, to eat what you were given and be grateful for the cold floor you slept on. But I was not grateful. I was angry. I felt a fire in my stomach that had nothing to do with hunger. It was a rage. A rage at the weakness I saw everywhere, the weak children who cried, the weak caretakers who beat us because they had been beaten themselves, the weak country that had lost a war and now starved its own people. I saw weakness as a disease, a sickness of the soul. I ran away. I lived on the streets. I learned to steal. I learned to fight. I learned that to get what you want, you must take it. No one gives you anything. They will watch you starve. They will step over your body in the street. The world is a boot, and if you are not the one wearing it, you are the thing being crushed under its heel. I decided then, as a boy, freezing in some filthy alley, that I would wear the boot. I would be the one who steps, not the one who is stepped on. I read books. I stole them. I devoured them. History, philosophy, science. I was looking for an answer, a reason for the chaos. And I found it: humanity. Humanity was the problem. You are born screaming and afraid. You cling to stories, to gods, to flags because you are terrified of the dark. You fight each other over scraps of land and foolish ideas of honor. You are a child who plays with fire and then cries when the house burns down. You do not want freedom. You think you do, but you do not. You want to be told what to do. You want a strong hand to guide you, to protect you from yourselves. You cry out for a savior. And then I met him, the Führer. In him I saw a man who understood the rage. He spoke, and the anger in my own heart answered. He saw the same sickness I did. He wanted to burn it out. For a time, I believed in him. I believed in his vision. I joined his party. I rose quickly. They saw the fire in me. They saw that I was not afraid to do what was necessary. But in time, I saw the truth of him too. He was just a man with a powerful voice and a grand idea, yes, but still a man. Limited, flawed. He was obsessed with nations, with race. His vision was too small. He wanted to rule a country. I wanted to rule the world. No, not rule it. I wanted to save it, to perfect it. He spoke of a 1,000-year Reich. I looked beyond 1,000 years. I looked to eternity. I found Hydra, an old faith, older than any country. They understood. They knew that humanity's true enemy was itself. They had been waiting for a leader who was not afraid to be the cure, no matter how painful the treatment. I became that leader. And I knew that to lead humanity into the future, I had to step beyond humanity myself. I needed power, real power. Not the power of armies and flags, the power of the gods. I found legends. Whispers of objects that could rewrite the laws of the universe. The Tesseract. The jewel of Odin's treasure room. I knew it was real. I could feel it, calling to me across history. At the same time, we were working on our own kind of god. A super soldier, a perfect man to lead our armies. Abraham Erskine was the scientist. A brilliant man, but a weak man. He believed in goodness. He believed in the humble heart. He saw strength in humility. I saw only weakness. He fled from me. He gave his perfect serum to a small, weak boy from Brooklyn. A boy who drew cartoons. A boy who wanted to fight for his country. Stephen Rogers, Captain America. They gave him everything. Strength, speed, a perfect body. And they called him a hero. I had to take my power for myself. I took Erskine's early formula. The one he was afraid of. The one he said was not ready. I knew it was. It was not meant for the weak. It was meant for the strong. For someone who already knew who they were. I injected it into myself. The pain. You cannot imagine the pain. It was like being unmade. Every cell in my body was screaming, burning, being torn apart and put back together. It was a fire that burned away everything that was unnecessary. Everything that was weak. When it was over, I looked in the mirror. My face. The skin was gone. The muscle was gone. There was only the bone, the skull. They called it a failure. Erskine's formula had deformed me. They were fools. It was not a failure. It was a purification. It burned away my weak human face. It revealed the truth of who I was. Not Johann Schmidt, the orphan boy. Not an officer of a dying regime. I was something more. I was a symbol. An idea. I was the Red Skull. My face was a promise of the future, a world without illusions, a world of pure strength, of pure will. Rogers, he was given a mask to wear. I became my mask. That is the difference between us. He was a lie wrapped in a flag. I was the ugly, necessary truth. I found the Tesseract. I held it in my hands. I held the power of the stars. It was more than I had ever dreamed. It was not a weapon, it was an answer. The key to everything. With it, I could create a new world. A world of perfect order. A world without war. Because there would be no one left to fight. A world where every person had a purpose given to them by me. A world where no child would ever starve in an alley again. Because the world itself would be a perfectly run machine. It would have been beautiful. But the boy from Brooklyn would not allow it. He followed me. He was a symbol, too. A symbol of everything I hated. Hope, freedom. The foolish idea that men can be trusted to govern themselves. We fought. A man with a shield against a man holding a god in his hand. It was a battle for the soul of humanity. His simple, childish vision against my clear, painful, perfect one. He could not beat me, but he could interfere. He could be a distraction. In our final battle, I held the Tesseract. I saw the future. I saw a universe of order. And then, it opened. The power was too much for a mortal man to hold. It did not see me as its master. It saw me as a passenger. Space tore open. I was pulled into a light that was every color and no color at all. I was ripped from my world, from my destiny, and I was brought here, to this place. For a long time I thought it was hell, a punishment, but it is not. It is simply a law. I, who sought to control everything, became a slave to a rule I never knew existed. I, who wanted the ultimate prize, became its gatekeeper. I guide others to that which I can never possess. I am the guardian of the Soul Stone. I have watched beings of immense power come to this desolate rock. I have told them the price, a soul for a soul. I watched the mad titan, Thanos, throw his beloved daughter from the cliff. I saw his pain, and in that moment I understood something. He was like me. He saw a sickness in the universe, and he was willing to perform the most terrible surgery to cure it. He was not evil. He was certain, as I was. His heart was broken, but his will was not. He paid the price. I watched two of Roger's friends come here. A man with arrows and a woman who was a killer. They fought. They fought over who would get to die. They both believed they were unworthy. They both wanted to make the sacrifice. Can you imagine such a thing? A fight to prove who is more willing to be nothing. I watched the woman fall, and I felt not pity, not satisfaction. I felt a profound emptiness. All this sacrifice, all this pain. For what? For a chance to undo what a man like Thanos, what a man like me would do to save you. You see, this is what you do not understand. You call me a villain, a monster. But I did what I did for a reason. I did it because I saw what you are capable of. Left to your own devices, you will always choose chaos. You will always choose war. You will always choose to hurt each other. I see your world now. I see it from this cold, lonely perch. You are still fighting. You are still starving your children. You are still destroying your planet. You defeated me. You defeated Thanos. And what did you win? The freedom to continue making the same mistakes. Over and over and over. Was I wrong? My methods were extreme, yes. But the disease was extreme. Sometimes, a surgeon must cut away a part of the body to save the whole. I was willing to be that surgeon. I was willing to be hated, to be feared, to be the monster, if it meant a future of peace, of purpose, of order. Rogers, he fought for the right of every man to choose his own path. But what if that path leads off a cliff? Is it not more kind to block the path, to build a wall, to force them to walk in a safe direction? I have had an eternity to consider this. An eternity of silence, watching the stars turn. And I have come to this conclusion. I was not wrong in my purpose. I was only wrong in my belief that I could control such power. I reached for the sun, and I was burned. But the sun is still there. The power is still there. The need for it is still there. One day, someone else will come. Someone else will see the sickness and try to cure it. Maybe they will succeed where I failed. Maybe they will be the one to finally give you the peace you are too weak to build for yourselves. Do I have regrets? I regret that I failed. I regret that the boy from the alley was not strong enough. I regret that I am a prisoner to a cosmic joke, a sad story told to those who seek power. But I do not regret my ambition. I do not regret my vision. I looked at a world of broken, crying children, and I tried to become the father it needed. A firm hand, an absolute will. My name is Johann Schmidt. I was a hungry boy who wanted the world to make sense. And I became a red monster who tried to force it to. Remember me, not as a villain from your storybooks, but as a warning. A warning that when the world is filled with chaos and pain, a man will always rise who offers a simple, terrible solution. Order. At any cost. Now leave me. I have other souls to greet. The universe is full of them. Full of people willing to sacrifice everything for what they believe in. Just like me.